Greetings, fellow traders. Bubba here. It's time for the daily market wrap for Friday, July the 17th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great trading day today and a great trading week. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, let's take a look and see where we left off in the market here today. So SPX up 9 points, so still green on the month. Weekly chart, we couldn't quite get above this resistance level here, so a very, very interesting area. This could be another hanging man potential on it. Get the gap above, which could be a little resistance until it gets to it. So we'll see. We pull back to the 30 weekly moving average and then work our way back up. So we'll see what the case is here. But very, very interesting stuff. So daily chart, again, kind of another narrow range day today if we look at the SPY. Right, so we had another doji day right here. So the SPY is actually still in its trend box right here. It hasn't quite gotten above those prior highs, right? So it's very interesting how the the ES and the SPY are correlating with each other through all this. And we don't have quite all the confluence yet, but we are still chopping around. We actually got a little more volume today than yesterday. Yesterday was the narrowest range day since the Corona crash, at least on the SPX. And we had another kind of doji day here on the SPY. So pretty interesting stuff. Let's take a look at the price action here today. We pointed out some opportunities at the close for a nice spike out of here at the 15 orb, right? So it was a quick kind of scalpy type move, but it was a nice move, especially on a Friday, right? And then had a quick pullback off of that, right? There was another at the open here today. Members looked at this. It was a nice short opportunity and a nice buy here off of this level, right? So it was a nice move right there. Back in the 15 orbs, a lot of chop right here. A lot of chop in that area right there, and then a little bit of a bull flag breakout right there to kind of get it going, right? So nice move right there up to the 15 orb high on SPY. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how they ended up behaving today. So very, very similar, guys. We got these signal zones here. They really, really make amazing areas of support and resistance. We held the geo line 2 here on the drop today, so that gave a nice move up, right? And we lost it right here, so it kind of worked its way down. So we're actually coming up to this geo line here after hours as they're kind of pumping it down a little bit. So again, guys, option expiration day today. So we saw a lot of shenanigans here, a lot of chop this week. Kind of getting things the premiums down. So for the expiration, then I think things should start to get pretty interesting going into next week, right? So MES right here gave a nice push down at the end of the day. Right there, right? So nice move right here at the end of the day for a little move there as well. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the Qs and see how they behave today. So we do have a closing gap above here on the daily chart. Right, so right there. So again, it's looks like a potential target, but we're going to see how that does going into that area. The IWM inside day up and still dojing, but at least it's hanging over the 200 day. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple's getting really, really tight. It doesn't have earnings until the end of the month, so I'm very interested to see what it does here. I love the consolidation, the low volume pullback here to the 80 MA. I'd like to see if it gets just a little bit more down and then starts to go, and then maybe give us an earnings run into earnings. So that'd be interesting there. Speaking of earnings, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, guys, double inside day the last 2 days, and look at that, still another narrow range, low volume day today. I mean, contraction to expansion, right? You think it's going to expand here? So we were examining some interesting straddle concepts going into next week. So we want to see how Tesla ultimately plays out for earnings next week. So we're definitely keeping an eye on those. So good stuff there. And what else? So we've got a couple other ones that are just to note here. So Netflix had earnings today. So Netflix had earnings today. It didn't gap down to the upper trend line like we were kind of hoping it would. That's big volume today after earnings, so kind of a spinning top. We might get a move down. We want to see what kind of direction we get from there, and then if we get a low volume pullback to the upper trend line, we might be able to grab a bounce on that, which would be nice. Also SBCE, again, still had some good strength today, guys. So this was tradable as well. Gapped up above the prior day high. Sometimes these cheap names that give these upper shadows do sometimes these crazy gaps up, but it gave a nice move today. Intraday too gave a great setup here. Triangle to work its way back up. So this has been a fun one to trade recently, and it's finally breaking out of its ranges right there. INO, again, the biotechs were pretty strong today, so INO had a nice candle today. mRNA, the best candle, right? Nice breakout move right there. And then AstraZeneca, I think it's got some news coming out on Monday too, and that ended up having a really strong candle. So a lot of these names really kind of brought the IBB up, right? So ERI, let's take a look. This was Eldorado was one of the weaker names today, but down on some big volumes. Keep an eye on that one. Piton, again, that's starting to break down here. It got through its first bump line. Now it's coming up to the second bump line. So let's see if it holds that, if it can get a low volume pullback there. Nikola. Also, kind of interesting that I just kind of gave up the the upgrade. But remember, guys, this was a Morningstar reversal this day, right? So we talked about, right, that we get a little follow through, a nice gap up the gift horse gap the next day, then it pulled back here. So now let's see how it holds that 50 day. See if we can get back up above that cloud there and give that kind of Morningstar reversal pullback for a bounce. So we're definitely gonna be looking at that. And last, let's take a look at the oil sector here a little bit. So Oxy, they had kind of a rough day here too. So let's see how that goes. We got this geo line right here, so it's a little increased volume. So let's see how it handles these levels going into next week. But anyway, guys, great job this week. I really appreciate everybody tuning into the live streams and for checking out these videos. So always appreciate your support. So please be sure to subscribe here on YouTube and also hit the notification button. Check out the links in the description. One of the links there is to our newsletter alerts, newsletter options. Page, and if you sign up there, you'll be able to get our newsletter this weekend. We're going to talk about some really cool concepts, and of course, you get to be a member of the group in the private Twitter and the private Discord. So, hope you guys can join us there. Hope everybody has a wonderful rest of your weekend. Stay healthy out there. Remember, your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys soon.